Campbell. It's 7-6 in our match, not 7-5. 7-6 to Brecel. He needs 3, King needs 4 to qualify for the final stages of this Betfred.com World Snooker Championship. The last day of the qualifiers. We've got 10 winners to find today, 4 in this session and another 6 this evening. One of those looks likely to be Peter Ebden. He's 9-0 up on Alfie Burden. Joe Perry going well, 7-2 on Jamie Burnett. We've got a few 6-3s. Barry Hawkins 6-3 up on David Morris. Same score for Andrew Higginson over Peter Lyons and Dominic Dale over Ben Wollaston. It's 5-4 Dave Gilbert over Fergal O'Brien.
Okay.
They all resume at 7 o'clock British time tonight. Right now though, Luca Bracel. He was 5-4 down. He's 7-6 up. This is frame 14. Well, this is very interesting, isn't it? To see whether Brecel can, as we keep saying, become the youngest person to play at the Crucible, or will experience tell at the end of the match. If it's going to tell at any point, that's when it's going to be. Mark King has played there 13 times, but that's a terrible shot, trying to get thin off the red. He's managed to miss. Well, actually, he'd be better off missing it coming back. He could have caught one of the reds there. He could have left one on. At least he's not done as much damage as he might have done. The problem for Brecel here is if he puts him back in and King plays the shot correctly, then he could be in trouble, but too risky to take a red on, so he is having the cue ball replaced by referee Brendan Moore.
Is that high up? Oh no, yeah, you're on the table.
Oh, this one. That's what I've got here.
Well, that's exactly what he didn't want. He'd rather miss them altogether than catch it a little on the thick side. But Brecel has missed. And he's under pressure. They both are, of course, for different reasons, but Brecel has never played at the Crucible before. He'd dearly love to make it, and these next 3 frames could be very difficult to win. It'll be obviously a test of his mental fortitude. Not too close, it has to be said there. Leaves Brecel another chance to the same pocket, the left centre.
One.
So, first ball potted in frame 14. And it's from the cue of Luca Bracel.
Four. Five.
Not quite the right side of this blue. In fact, he looks a little straight on it. And if that's the case, he's not going to get on the red. So he's taken the green here with power. But where's this cue ball going to finish?
Eight.
It's not too good, really. Still a chance here to the yellow pocket. He's missed it. That was never in.
Luca Bracel, 8.
King still hasn't made a reasonable break really in this session, but he's a great fighter, Mark King. As I said right at the start, he will dig in to the end and make it as difficult as he can, but if he does start to score, he's got every chance of winning.
I'm going to shot it. Oh, be quiet with the sweet wrappers, please.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what happened there, other than Mark King was comparing about the rustling of the sweet wrappers in the audience. Not a problem you have at most sporting events, but of course here at the snooker it is quiet most of the time, and someone was trying to extricate a boiled sweet, it would seem, from its wrapper, and it just put him off. Well, that wasn't very sweet.
Oh.
Cue ball's landed on the side cushion, but he's still on this red. Just more difficult cueing than it should have been. Yeah, well, there you are. It's more difficult cueing, and he has missed it.
Mark King, 4.
Well, that was a very confidently played shot, wasn't it? Getting the reds open as quickly as he can. That's the way all the top players play. It's finished a little awkward, if anything. He's going to this red to the right corner is awkward cueing. He needs the long stuff. The extended spider making an appearance here. So he's taking the red on by the sounds of things. He needs an extension for his cue. He's still obviously he needs an extension for the extended spider. He'll be playing this shot from the car park if he has any more extensions on that cue. Yes, he's obviously still a growing boy, Luca. He's only 17, just turned 17, not the tallest yet. Well, this is nasty. He's striking down on the white here. Ooh, not nice at all. Doesn't fancy it, I don't think. Swan neck, maybe, or just the normal spider to get a bit closer. Yep, the normal spider's coming out. He still seems very composed to me, Brecel. Didn't rush that. Just took his time, deciding the best way to play it. He does seem to have this inner calm. Watch him walking around the table. He seems to have a slight smile on his face. I'm not sure it's a deliberate thing, but he's just in his own little world. It's not a bad place to be. Snooker players have to be pretty insular. You're out there for a long period of time. No teammates to help you. It's all about you and your performance. 60. And you have to shut out the crowd, the TV audience, and not least, of course, what it all means. And he seems pretty adept at doing that, Luca Bracel. But the real
17.
test is about to come. The next few frames here, we'll find out a lot about the young man, I think.
$24. Wow.
Unbelievable. He's jumped over the red, miscued, jumped the red. It's a great trick shot, but you don't really want to be playing it in the World Championship.
Luca Bracel, 24.
White ended up in the
Mark
pocket,
King,
and he's back in his seat. It's always embarrassing, but the worst thing for him is the stage of the match it's come at. That was a good chance for 8-6. Oh, well, how important will that be? And not least, of course, there's a red on now. Cue ball back in baulk. There's a red by the brown that goes to the middle. So an immediate scoring chance for King.
One.
That miscue could be very, very costly. He's let Mark King back into this frame unexpectedly, and he's in a nice position here and around the reds.
Five. Yes.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better chance than this to win a frame. He's just got to keep himself steady.
$11. 12.
Well, without wishing to over-dramatise, that miscue from Brecel could be the key shot
90.
in this entire match, because he was looking good for 8-6, he was looking good to pull away and qualify, but Mark King, with every chance to make it 7-all, and it's quite obviously it would affect any player,
20.
that sort of incident. Not least because it's not only a mistake, but it's a pretty embarrassing one. You look foolish when it happens. But King has missed the black off the spot, and you just can't afford to do that.
Mark King, 20.
You cannot afford to do that. What a let-off for Brecel. Incredible.
One.
The whole psychology of this match could have turned there if King had done the business and won the frame, but he's back in his seat after missing the black off its spot.
Six. Seven.
Can't see King winning this if he doesn't start to make a few breaks. Can't keep scrapping around. He's got to knock them in, and he's had a great chance there.
13.
But at the moment he's back in his seat wondering if he's going to get another one here. Luca Bracel will be
40.
determined that he doesn't. This pink puts him 28 in front. He's going to need both reds here to win the frame.
20.
He thought that was in, he was up ready for the pink, but he missed it. Intriguing frame now, 28 between them, Brecel in front, 2 reds on. He's going to get nervy, I think, this match now. Inevitable, it's so close, it's to qualify for the Crucible. So mistakes are to be expected, of course they only add to the drama for all the viewers. Brecel still going for his shots, but where's this going to finish? It's not good for him. Chance for king.
One.
Well, the black, of course, slightly awkward here.
Six.
Already had a golden chance in this frame, missed the black off its spot. Well,
7.
he's shaking his head. He is on the brown, I think, but close for comfort there next to the pink. Stephen Hendry's won. He's just mopping up for a 10-6 victory. So the return of the king to the Crucible, 7 times champion, will be in the draw tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to play him at the Crucible. And you can say that about a fair few of these qualifiers.
11.
Now then, king 17 behind. He's lost, well, he's okay, but
13.
you can just tell watching him he's edgy here. And that means anything can happen. He needs all 4 colours. It's going to be pink to black. That's going to be the shot.
20.
Big moments here. The difference between 8-6 and 7-7. Both players have had chances to win this frame already. Mark King with this one, but he needs the last 3 colours. And the black is awkwardly placed.
$25.
My word, he'd like the black on its spot, wouldn't he? Well, he's got to get close to this. Got to pop the pink first. Oh dear. Slightly, maybe took his eye off the pot thinking about
Mark
position.
25.
Oh, well, second prize. Good hit. Where's it going to finish? Needs it to run to the cushion. It's a chance, but he still needs the black. Of course, the difference here, Brecel only needs the pink. Dramatic finish here to this frame. King's already had a chance there, missed the ping. Brecel's hit it out of a snooker. Well, he's stealing himself, understandably. Pink and black needed. Oh dear, well, it wasn't too close with the pot. Okay, the white is close to the side cushion, but this is a chance, and Brecel only needs the pink, doesn't need the black. This is for 8-6. What a dramatic frame it's been. And Brecel's won it, and he leads 8-6, and he needs 2 more. Is that the killer blow in this match? Mark King had a terrific chance earlier on, he missed that black off the spot, a couple more chances, but the nerves at the moment seem to be with him, and Brecel strokes the pink in. He's only 2 away from qualification. Well, what drama there in that frame. Just to confirm, Stephen Hendry did beat Udaloo 10-6. So Hendry, for the 27th successive year, will be at the Crucible. It's 9-4 Marco Fu against Joe Jogia. Fu needs 1 more there. Liang Wenbo 8-5 upon Marcus Campbell. It was 7-2 overnight to Liang, so getting a little sticky there maybe, but he's still favourite to come through. And Brecel, you'd have to say, he's favourite here as well, because he only needs 2 more. And Mark King, I think my concern for King today has been his scoring. It hasn't been good. And obviously if you're scoring well, you just keep your opponent in his seat. It's not happening at the moment. But we'll see, it's not over yet. Mark King has just stepped out of the arena. He's up against it here. Just not playing well enough so far to suggest he can win, but we know what a battler he is, we know what a fighter he is, and we know that it's in there somewhere. And if he can bring out his best form, he can still win, so there's no point saying the next one's a big frame. They're all big, aren't they? But certainly he doesn't want to go 9-6 down, because then you'd fancy Brecel strongly. No signs from Brecel of anxiety as such, not outwardly anyway, but you can forgive him for feeling nervous. These are, well, the next couple of frames, the biggest of his entire life, and that of course means that if pressure's going to come on, it's going to come on in this sort of situation. 2 frames shy of the Crucible. Well, when Mark King returns, we'll continue. But there you see the name of Stephen Hendry. I think it would have been a surprise if he'd lost that match. Played well yesterday, finished with 2 centuries, and he's done what he's had to do today, and he will go into the hat. It'll be fascinating to see who he draws in the first round. Of course, it will be one of the top 16 seeds. Well, here comes King, so we're ready for frame 15 of a possible 19. Luca Bracel leads him 8-6.
Well, I'm not doing it anyway. Take this one.
Well, Brendan Moore has spoken to him there.
Yeah. I'm not. I'll leave it. Yeah. Well, I do hear it, but I don't say anything unless you say anything, so I don't know if you can hear it at that point.
I'm not sure exactly what that was, and I'm not going to speculate. I'm not sure
Get you drowned from this there, yeah.
if it was something entirely benign or not that he was talking to him about. Couldn't quite hear what they were saying. If a referee thinks a player has done something ungentlemanly, he can warn them, fine them in fact. I'm not saying that's happened there, I don't know. They may still be talking about the Sweetie rappers, who knows. So anyway, let's get on with the next frame. It's 8-6 to Brecel, King to break.
Frame 15. Oh, King to break.
Well, this always was an interesting match before a ball was struck. And it's even more interesting now that Brecel leads 8-6. Can he finish the job? Every reason to believe that he can, the way he's played. That's not too clever though, the double kiss. Gives King a chance here.
One.
King at that stage in the match where he knows he can't afford too many more mistakes.
8.
Maybe that will focus the mind.
9. $60. 70.
That was a good attempt to get a few open, and if anything a little unfortunate I think to leave the cue ball on the side cushion like that.
24.
Yes, I suppose you could argue he
Okay.
deserved better
20.
from the split, but frankly you don't get much in snooker, you don't deserve much actually. It's that sort of game where you've just got to work for everything, and even if you do, it doesn't always come off. Ah, well,
1.
every little helps. He holds his hand up. I don't think that's going to amuse King very much.
Luca Bracel 1.
Neither will that. Oh, this looks a good shot. One thing about King, he knows his way around a snooker table. He's been a pro for 21 years, and if ever there was a time to call on all that experience, it's now. He's back to the wall here, 8-6 down in a best of 19 against a determined young opponent who's just got a horrible double kiss. So this is a chance for King again in this frame. Meanwhile, I can tell you Marco Fu will be at the Crucible once again. Semi-finalist in 2006. He's beaten Joe Joggia 10-4. Last 2 years he's played Martin Gould in the first round. I wonder if that pattern will continue. He doesn't care. He's in the draw. And very dangerous opponent, Marco Fu, for anybody on his day. Although he's only won one match at the Crucible since that semi-final appearance 6 years ago.
Nine.
Well, the consensus on the chat before the frame seems to be about the sweet wrappers. Brendan Moore saying that he could only warn the crowd if it was obvious to him that it was putting the players off. He doesn't want to put the risk, I suppose, putting them off even more by too many warnings. Anyway, doesn't sound too serious. This hasn't worked out too well. Again, he's been a little unfortunate, King, there. He's gone into them okay, and snookered by the red to the right corner. So again, he's not had the best of luck there. The problem in this sort of situation, I think, for a snooker player is you just start to feel this is not going to be my day, nothing's going for me, and it's hard not to sort of dwell on that. Would have expected, I think, to land on something.
Mark King 40.
Disappointing and unlucky, got to say, for King there. People often say that luck evens itself out in the end. I'm not sure that's always true, although in a long match it's more likely. What about that one, though? He's not on a colour, but a terrific pot. And it just shows he's still feeling so confident. Needs a good cue ball here. This is not the time to try anything daft. Play good safety and wait for another chance. And it is pretty good. He's got the white pretty close to the cushion. I think his safety has been good in the match overall. Mark King saying good shot. Yes, this is danger time. Look where the reds are here. They're everywhere. King's 36 points in front, but that will mean nothing if Brecel gets a chance. So you can understand Mark King just taking a bit of time over this one. Well, that's unbelievable. Not only the fluke, but look, he's nicely on the black as well. That had gone all wrong, but the red's gone in. And on such things, entire matches can turn round. But he's got to make the most of it, and as I was saying earlier, he's not really made any sizable breaks yet today. This will be a great time to start.
8. Nine.
Well, the black puts him 52 in front, so he's not got that much further to go here. Well, I was saying that he wasn't having a lot of luck earlier, but that was a huge slice of fortune, that fluke. Landed perfectly on the black.
16.
And every reason to expect him to win the frame here, although he's missed a few here and there. He missed a black off the spot a couple of frames back, which was unexpected.
17.
Red McCullough needed to leave Brecel needing a snooker.
$21.
Well, right now Mark King doesn't care how he wins the frames, he just needs to win them. And he should have won this one now. Rode his luck to do it. Could do with this red as well, just to stop Brecel playing on for the snookers. He's not got it. He thought it was in.
Mark King.
But it's hung on for dear life, so half a chance here. 2 snookers needed.
1.
And Brecel's safety's been pretty good, so he'll give this a good go, I'm sure.
$8. 9.
Well, they've slightly overdone that. Still needs to pop this black. If this doesn't go in, then very unlikely to win the frame.
$16. Luca Bracel, 60.
$48 in it, with 43 available. That's, of course, blacks with the last 2 reds. King trying to pot that one by the looks of it. Brecel, I'm sure, would like to pot a red and a black and then try and get the snooker on the last red. Well, he only just hit that. And he's given Brecel a chance to do what I said, pot a red and a black and try and get the snooker on the last red.
One.
And you just get the feeling this frame isn't over yet.
8.
Close to the pocket. Oh,
Luca Bracel, 8.
I think prior to that he was trying to look for an angle to get him behind the pink, didn't quite do so, and hasn't got the snooker here. Of course, if king can pop this red, then it is over. And he has done. So little mini crisis averted for him. It's going to be 8-7.
1.
And it's still really too close to call.
Five. 7. 10. 14. 14 in the frame. Mark.
So Mark King wins frame 15 and he keeps this match alive. 8-7 is now Luca Bracel's lead, and this is going to get, I think, very nervy now, understandably, with the crucible within touching distance. If Mark King does win the match, it'll be his 8th appearance as a qualifier at the crucible. He's 14th in total, because of course he has been in the top 16. The record for the most appearances as a qualifier is 9. John Parrott, who of course was in the qualifying. He played the very first match this year against Patrick Wallace, but lost 5-0. Of course, John is officially retired, just turned up for the World Championship, which he can do as a WPBSA member. 2 results so far. Stephen Hendry beat Udaloo 10-6. Marco Fu, I can tell you, did beat Joe Jogia 10-4. It's 8-5 Liang Wenbo over Marcus Campbell, but Liang was 7-2 up overnight, so he's lost 3 of the first 4 there. But this one really is tight. 8-7 to Brecel. Mark King has left the arena, having just won that one. Wasn't pretty, but he doesn't care. He's still in the match. Don't forget, tonight we've got 2 more matches. I'm not sure how long the first one's going to last. Peter Ebden 9-0 up on Alfie Burden. The other match that we'll be watching on the streaming is Andrew Higginson 6-3. He leads Peter Lyons. There's some tough qualifiers so far this year. If you look at yesterday, who came through. 2 Chinese players very dangerous, Lu Chang and Cao Yu Peng. Ken Doherty, of course, a former winner. Jamie Jones, who's having such a good run this season. Mark Davis, who's playing the best snooker of his career the last year or so. And Ryan Day, who's always a handful. So some good qualifiers there. Already we've got the 7 times champion Stephen Hendry through this afternoon. We've got Marco Fu, a former semi-finalist. So there'll be some very interesting matches, I think, when the draw is made tomorrow. Right now we're waiting for both players to return. Brendan Moore just has to stand there, and we just have to sit here and await their return. Mark King first back into the arena. This is usually a badminton hall. It's a huge sports facility here in Sheffield, the English Institute of Sport. It's a big hall. If you stand right at the back, you can watch 3 or 4 tables at once. And it's great that the public, the paying public, can come and watch. This is the World Championship after all, and of course if you can't get there, you can watch it with us here on liveworldsnooker.tv. And next season there'll be much more as well. Well, here's Brecel. His lead has been trimmed to 8-7.
Frame 16. Luca Bracel to break.
It's interesting that all the players Brecel has beaten so far this week have all been vastly experienced. Ian McCulloch, Barry Pinches, Michael Holt. And here's another one in the shape of Mark King. And ultimately, none of the other 3 were able to use their experience to their advantage against him. Didn't seem to make any difference. Although Holt came very close, it went to a decider. Of course, Brecel won 10-9. Well, they obviously didn't intend to catch the blue there. It's another good pot from Brecel.
1.
His body language hasn't changed at all as the match has gone on. He hasn't looked nervous. I'm not saying he isn't, but he hasn't looked nervous. Still gone for his shots, as he did indeed against Holt when it got close. Well, that's gone all wrong.
Luca Bracel 1.
Well, he potted going for the brown, knocked the blue in, and it's obviously a free ball. But he may well, I think he will just be put in from there. Got to be careful here. Quite a few reds out in the open. This doesn't look too good for Brecel anyway.
Wow. King 4.
Of course, the black's not on its spot here. Just makes it a little more complicated for King, who's not really scored at all. Not had a half century in this session. Well,
One.
you can get the black back on its spot now. At some point he'll want to clear the red to the right of the black spot so that it goes into both corner pockets.
8.
Once had a 1-4-6 in the UK Championship, which is a much rarer break than 1-4-7.
9.
Been far fewer. We're up to 87 maximums now, because Robert Milkins had one the other day here. Well, that red I mentioned is the one he's played on. But he is just starting to run out now of loose reds. This would be a great time to make a big break. It would be his first of the afternoon. Oh, he's missed the red.
King 60.
Well, he's just having a bit of trouble with his logo. It's come unstuck, which of course is what he's hoping won't happen to him. And Brendan Moore, as if he's not got enough to do, he's now helping him reapply it. He did get up before that shot, and it was noticeable he was just sticking it back on, and maybe it just slightly put him off the pot. One of those things you wouldn't really factor in at the start of play, having an effect on the match. Players have to wear the sponsor's logo as part of their contract. He seems to have put it on the other side of his waistcoat, which I'm sure is perfectly acceptable with the powers that be, as long as he's wearing it. That's the one. Well, it's great exposure for the sponsor, if nothing else. He was looking nervously there, but he's not left the red on. What a fascinating duel this has become. It has been all the way through. Been closely fought. And continues to be. Oh dear. That's gone all wrong. Caught the second red. It's given King another chance. And this time he's also opened the red. So this is a definite opportunity for Mark King. Meanwhile, Liang Wenbo's got 9-5 up against Marcus Campbell, so the Chinese needs one more there. And if he wins that match, Liang Wenbo, he'll be the guaranteed the fourth Chinese player there this year. Of course, already Ding Junhui by right, and yesterday Lu Chang and Cao Yupeng. Oof. Well, he's just about okay. He's left it awkward, but for a moment there he thought he'd gone right into the middle of the reds and not left himself on anything.
8.
Nervy times these for King. Nervy times for both players.
9.
But what a chance for 8 each. I think the encouraging thing for Mark King is he would have got to 8 each not playing his best stuff, but still in there fighting, as you would expect from him. And if he can suddenly step up a gear, every chance to win the match.
60. 17. $24.
This has been his problem this afternoon, just keeping control of the white. Didn't get the right angle for the black, but he's on the blue. As long as he just keeps it simple here, he should be alright. And also concentrates, because he has taken his eye off a couple this afternoon, including a black off the spot.
$30. $31. $38. $39.
There is a red in the bulk end. This blue puts him 68 in front with 75 on, so he'd only need that red. And it should be 8 each.
44. $45.
One thing about Mark King, he's a battler, and he's battling well here. Needed a couple of chances to take the frame. Well, I'm sure Brecel will play on. The break reaches 50. That's King's highest of the session. $74 the lead, 67 remaining. 2 snookers, so again, it's going to be an anxious few minutes.
Mark
then
King.
from
50.
Mark King. 2 snookers needed by Luca Bracel. Well, if nothing else, he's left it awkward. Maybe not too awkward though. He's knocked the red in.
1.
And that should confirm that we're going to be 8 each. Mark King has won the last 2. Good rear guard action here from the Romford left-hander. Still has his good days, Mark King. He was a semi-finalist in this season's Shanghai Masters, quarter-finalist in the World Open, also in China.
5.
And he's been here many times before. As I said earlier, it would be his 8th qualification for the Crucible if he comes through this match.
11.
And his 14th appearance in total.
12.
And what a difference that fluke made in the previous frame. That opened the door for King.
90. $26. 27.
Just starting to look a bit more comfortable than he was earlier on.
$34. 36.
Well, he's waited all afternoon for a half century. Might make two in the same frame here.
39. 43. 48.
Suddenly looking a different man. And with a possible
54.
3 frames to go, we're all square again.
61 in frame.
61
Mark.
to follow the earlier 50. Mark King has won the last 2 and he draws level with Luca Bracel at 8 each. He's leaving the arena again between frames. He's done that after virtually every frame. Luca Bracel is staying where he is. Well, we'll see. Well, he's not actually. He's going to go out as well. We'll see how that affects him, if indeed it does affect him. As I say, possible 3 frames left. They're each going to need 2. Already through Marco Fu, 10-4 over Joe Jogia. Stephen Hendry, 10-6 over Yu Delu. It's 9-5 Liang Wenbo against Marcus Campbell. But 3 frames possibly remain. They each need 2. Mark King 8, Luca Bracel 8. When they return, we will continue. It's very hard to police toilet breaks because you can't prove whether someone needs the toilet or not. Well, I suppose you can, but it doesn't really bear thinking about. So we just have to wait for the players to return. Well, rest assured, I won't be going anywhere. And neither's Brendan. Thankfully, the rustling of the sweet paper seemed to have stopped, so he doesn't have to upbraid anyone else in the audience. There is an audience here. I know you can't see them from that shot, but that's because they're on the other side. Our side here. But there are plenty of people in, I can assure you. You can hear them applauding, of course. King first back into the arena. He'll feel that the momentum is with him, but you never know with Brecel. He's quite a difficult player to read. Yes, he's under pressure, but he's been under pressure before this week and he's responded to it. Just has the feel of a 9 each, this one. We'll see. Certainly, at best, can be 10-8 either side now. Well, I think he's coming back. Here he is. So, frame 17. King's won the last two.
Frame 17. Mark King to them. Okay, I think you should.
Well, he was walking away there, and now he's come back. I'm not quite sure what it was. Not a good break-off, whatever the problem was. It's going to be tense, isn't it, the next half an hour or so? This best of 19 frame match building up to a very interesting climax. Tense for the players, tense for the audience, depending on who you're supporting. I'm sure we have a lot of viewers in Belgium who are obviously willing young Luca on. And a lot of people from, I'm sure, other parts of the world willing him on. There's a new face, clearly a great talent. Will be very interesting to see how he goes at the Crucible. If he gets there, of course. Well, that's a good shot. There wasn't much of that red sticking out. Would have liked, obviously, to have come past the blue, to leave the white somewhere behind the brown, near the cushion, but even so, it was, as I say, not much of the red to see in the first place. This looks pretty good as well. Well, it's a good pot from where the cue ball was, under the cushion. Was that red that's close to the middle pocket? He may take the pot on here, because if he plays safe and doesn't cover it, he's in trouble.
Green.
Looking at the green. But of course he's going to have to get the pot as well. And he has done. King is starting to pot the pressure balls now. That's a good sign if you're a Mark King supporter.
4. 5.
So a scoring chance at the start of this 17th frame for
7.
Mark King, who in the last frame made breaks of 50 and 61. He's only 2 half-centuries of the session. Has he
8.
saved his best for last here in this qualifying match? Marcus Campbell's pulled one back against Liang Wenbo. It's 9-6 to the Chinese there. Liang Wenbo still
40.
1 from victory.
$15.
In some ways, it makes it even more nerve-wracking, I think, having this in Sheffield. We're only 3 miles from the Crucible. You get there in 10 minutes, but of course, you need 10 frames as well.
22.
Well, he's trying to just
23.
flick off the reds there, get the white through, and hasn't quite done it. And now, well, if he's on the ping, it's another pressure ball. That's if he's on it. No, so it's a safety. Well, it's disappointing to break down so early.
Mark King 23.
Just 23 scored. Came wrong on the red initially, wanted to be the other side of it, and couldn't quite force the cue ball through. This could still go in. Well, incredible. He had a fluke a couple of frames ago, of course, which helped turn things in his favour, and that's another one. He felt he got a kick. I heard him say nice contact, sarcastically, but the red has flown up and down the table and gone in. Well, he's got the red out to give it a stare, but he should be thankful it went in, I think.
Global.
Not on this brown, it would seem, so he's playing the blue to take control, although not tight in behind it. Well, I said a couple of frames ago he wasn't having any running. He's certainly made up for that since. But he didn't get the white in tight behind the blue there. That would have put Brecel in considerable trouble. You can actually see the edge of these reds. Well, that was very nearly disastrous. Very nearly left the red on, but can't cut this in. Well, if you're playing in these matches, I'm sure they are very nerve-wracking, but to watch, it is great entertainment because it's the World Championship. You know what it means to these guys. You know they'll be giving it everything. They've both given it everything over the course of 2 days. Of course, one of them's got to go home. But that's another terrific shot from Brecel. You saw Mark King just tap the table. Look where he's got the cue ball here. Very nearly in behind the blue. Which, of course, is where he should have been a couple of shots ago. King leads 24-0, 8 each, first to 10. Well, it's the old shot to nothing. He's match king in the safety stakes. It's Brecel. It's the first tournament this season in which Brecel has really done anything, and maybe just the longer matches have helped him, giving him a chance to settle down a bit more, not panic when he's gone behind. Although, of course, the first two matches he won really comfortably. This looks another good shot. Keeping the pressure on. In this sort of situation, you feel you're either one great pot or one big error away from somebody getting in and making a few. That's usually what happens. Well, that could be the mistake I was referring to. I think the red does pass the black to the corner. Well, it obviously doesn't, otherwise he would have played it by now. Well, he keeps looking at the red up towards the green pocket. And that's the one he's playing. Well, he didn't hit it at all well. Took a long time looking at that, and in the end, he didn't really commit himself too much. Extraordinary sneeze from Mark King. At least it was on his shot and not his opponent's. The red still cut by the pink. And he's missed it as well. This is what I was saying about the nerves. And this time this other red is on to the corner. But the table very scrappy. Balls on cushions, colours off spots. So work to be done here by Brecel. Well, you can get the pink back on its spot, which would help, I suppose. A huge test of Brecel's mettle here. Biggest match of his life, really. To qualify for the Crucible, he would be, we've said all afternoon, the youngest person ever to play there if he gets through next week. But as I say, because of all the safety, Reds have gone safe, and this is not straightforward at all. Trying to get into these. Well, it's no good, I'm afraid.
14.
So he's back to the safety. 10 points in it, in a very tense frame. Well, Mark King is saying he needs to go to the toilet. Well, he's been pretty much between every frame, but clearly
you can go out if you like. When
you got to go, you got to go. And Luca Bracel, he's also going, it would seem. So we're going to have a little delay here. Well, an unscheduled interval in the middle of a frame.
Not often they both need to go.
Brendan Moore saying it's not often they both need to go. I notice his bladder has held up remarkably well. Bill Werbenek, the Canadian player who was a great favourite in the 80s, of course, he used to guzzle lager by the pintful, one per frame, and he was a regular visitor to the gents because of that, but these two only sipping water. I think Brecel thought there, well, I'm not going to sit in my chair for 3 or 4 minutes. But this frame delicately poised, 10 points in it, 8 frames all, 10 the target for victory, but the cue's on the table, and we'll just wait for them to come back. I can tell you it's 9-7 now, Liang Wenbo over Marcus Campbell. Campbell's won the last 2, so Liang Wenbo is going to start to feel it a little bit there. Play resumes shortly, that's all we can tell you really. Was a famous incident years ago at the Norbreck in Blackpool where they had the qualifying, where there was a match in which there'd been a controversial miscall in one of the frames and the players trooped off afterwards to the toilet, which toilet wasn't working, and As one player came out, the other was coming in, and the first player said, out of order, meaning the toilet. But the second player thought he meant the miscall and had him up against the wall. A misunderstanding. Mark King first back into the arena, so we wait for Luca Bracel. Hopefully they can remember whose shot it is. It's King's, of course. The toilet breaks, I think, have been a bit of an issue this week. There have been a lot in certain matches where players have gone out between frames, and you've got to say Mark King's been one of them. But to go out in the middle of a frame, it does happen now and again. It happened in the China final. Peter Ebden, another of the more methodical players, he went out during a frame. It was a long frame though, about 40 minutes. But anyway, we just wait for Brecel and we can restart. Well, he's back. So, 10 points in it in frame 17. Mark King's shot here. Ball's awkward. This frame, I think, has got a lot of life in it yet. Well, one thing's for sure. One of these two will be flushed with success when the match ends. And the other's hopes of World Championship glory will go down the pan. Terrific red. He's still going for his shots. He's not been ground down here, Luca Bracel. But again, it's still going to be difficult to make a substantial contribution here where the reds are. He's got to try and develop a few. But it's encouraging for Brecel fans that he's still playing the way he's played all through these qualifiers. Can he bring one out here? If he nicks the black here, he's on the red. Well, that'll do, I guess.
3.
He'll take anything right now. He's not potted it though. He was close to that red. Scrappy old frame, but they all count. This is not going to be a quick frame now, is it? It's already been quite lengthy, but I think we're here for a while yet, not least because they're both such good safety players. Well, that wasn't so good. He was trying for a thin contact and didn't make contact. I have to say, the more the match develops like this, the more you've got to favour King. It's more his sort of thing, this. If indeed it's anyone's sort of thing. Didn't put him... Sorry, he did put him back in. I apologise. Oh, this is close. And it's in off.
Foul. Mark King.
Not the most inviting table, it has to be said. I was once at the World Qualifiers about a decade ago now. It was Jason Ferguson against Gary Wilkinson, last round. It was the last match on, well after midnight. And my old pal Bruce Beckett, who was the World Snooker press officer, he went in to watch the decider. Came out after an hour. I said to him, what's going on? He said, there's 5 reds on the top cushion.
Marking.
And duly, about 25 minutes later, it finished. Brecel has failed to make contact there, but of course it's not terminal doing that because he's not left anything on. Of course, if he missed this time, he'd be under it because he'd have to hit it the third time. as you can see the red directly. Looks like he's playing a different shot though. The main thing is he keeps his discipline and doesn't suddenly play a rash one that opens everything up. So far he's doing that really well. Yes, that match between Gary and Jason, longest ever, best of 19, 890 minutes. Finished about 2 in the morning. Gary's only comment, when he came off was, doesn't matter how long it takes. I wonder if he thinks the same now he's working in the tournament office. Prefer a few early nights, I'm sure, because he is backstage assisting Martin Clark, tournament director. You may be able to see the potting angle of this red. I think he can. Yes, he can. Main part of the shot was the safety. The red's going close to the middle. It's okay though. Just. Well, can he see this red to pot it on the right hand side? He may be able to, you know. Right down on it. No, he can't. I think I did actually hear King apologise, which would be a clue that it wasn't on. Still, the safety duel continues. But this is part of the game. It's not all about knocking in balls and making quick fire breaks. If it goes on much longer, there might be another toilet break. Well, that's a mistake. That's a definite mistake. Now that sometimes, though, when there's been a long safety battle, you just see the rhythm of the player has been affected, and certainly someone like Brecel, who's such a natural player, that's the danger with him. His concentration as well. Paul Collier tells me that Gary's gone home, Gary Wilkinson. He's in the office.
9.
And it could be for quite a while tonight, I think. There's bound to be at least one. There's always one that drags on. Fergal O'Brien, I notice, is only 5-4 down against Dave Gilbert. Now then, chance to get into them, and he has done. How's it looking? Well, he's on one to the green pocket. They didn't really sort of come out as he would have hoped there.
16.
But at least he's on one, but he's still 3 points behind in this frame. There's still a lot of work to do here. This is a big moment for Brecel. If he wins the frame, certainly at this visit, then you would have to say be a big favourite, because it would be a very creditable break, but we'll see.
17.
Well, he needs to be exact with position here. And he hasn't been, I don't think.
22.
Little sigh. But he's got himself in front. Needs this white to run on a bit.
Luca Bracel. 22.
Well, suddenly the frame's opened up. Just 3 points between them. Yes, he wanted the white to run on, and he's left a pot on from king, and he's knocked it in. I did say earlier I thought this sort of frame favoured king. Let's see. Well, he's got very close to the red.
8.
Got to get the white out for a colour. It's not the best of shots. He's already grimacing before he's playing it. Couldn't do anything really other than roll it in.
9.
It's been such a hard fought frame, this. Hard to win as well. Still hard to win. He's working it out, or trying to.
White ball.
After all that, he's attempted to roll to the black, completely past it. He was looking at originally to take the white down the table, somewhere behind the yellow. In the end, tried to roll up to the black. He's overdone it. Given Brecel a chance to snooker him behind the green. Well, he spent a couple of minutes thinking about that shot, king, and look where he's finished up. Hang on, this is in. Oh, another one. He's had another fluke.
1.
Incredible. Oh. Well, it's part of the game, yes, but it's cruel on Luca Bracel.
White ball.
And he had the certain snooker there, obviously with the brown in front of the yellow. So it's advantage king. He leads by 7 points. Brecel has got to get the yellow safe. If he back heels it off the baulk cushion, you have a good chance of doing that. Well, he's gone direct from the other side, but he's pushed it over the table. Looks okay. Well, certainly the run has started to even itself out. So we're down to the yellow, we're down to the colours. Only the blue on its spot. That'll tell you what sort of frame it's been. A long one, a scrappy one, but of course a very important one. Now then, a chance for Brecel But once again, well, nothing's straightforward at this stage anyway, but certainly with the balls all off their spots, this is still not an easy chance, but it's a chance nonetheless. He needs the white to slow up a bit. Well, anything's missable at this stage, particularly when you're not used to this sort of pressure. He did have a close one, of course, against Michael Holt in the previous round, but this round he knows is to get to the Crucible. A couple of years ago, when Eurosport showed the World Championship, he taped every match, he watched every match back. That's how into his snooker he is. Well, he's potted it. Now is he on the brown? He didn't mean to catch the blue, I'm sure, but he's on the brown, holds his hand up to apologise, but that won't stop him knocking the brown in, of course. Well, let's be honest, King's had a couple of touches in the last half hour or so as well. It's a great pot, actually. Very confident. He leads by 2. He needs blue and pink. Doesn't have to worry about the black. What moments for Luca Bracel. Just the pink then to lead 9-8. A very dramatic frame this. Hard fought frame. It's the pink for Brecel. And he's potted it.
20 in frame.
Big frame to win. And a big frame to lose, you've got to say. Mark King seemed to favour him the exchanges, but it's Brecel who's won it. Not surprisingly, they're both going out again. Brecel leads 9-8. These are the other scores. 2 results: 10-4 Marco Ferber, Joe Joggia, 10-6 Stephen Hendry over Yu Delu, 9-7 Liang Wenbo leads Marcus Campbell, and it's 9-8 here. He got a little bit lucky with the green in terms of position, but the way he played it is the way he's played right from the start of the qualifiers. He's gone for his shots, he struck it confidently, potted it, and well, he cleared up nicely to win on the pink. 9-8. He's 1 frame away from making history to become the youngest person to compete at the Crucible. And he'll be aware of that, I'm sure. So it's up to Mark King to try and stop him now. The players will return in due course, and we will continue in due course. He showed tremendous poise under pressure, I thought there, Luca Bracel. He's got every excuse to fold here. He's not used to all this, but he hasn't yet. And he needs 1 more frame. He would be a great addition to the Crucible lineup, that's for sure. An unknown quantity. Be a bit of buzz around whoever he's playing. And he's only 1 frame away. But only 1 frame. Listen, it's the hardest to win, isn't it, the last frame? But King hasn't really put him under pressure. He's done his best to. He's played some tough match snooker, King, but he hasn't got Brecel twitching at shots, snatching at shots. He's still going for them. Saw that with the green. King first back into the arena. We wait for Brecel. How many more frames are we going to get here? 1 or 2? Well, wherever you're watching in the world, I'm sure you're enjoying the drama of this World Championship match. The drama that's being certainly elongated by all these toilet breaks between frames. I think it's fair to say, I'm just reading some of the tweets that are coming in, most people think that it's a little excessive. Certainly the one in the middle of the last frame, I think, most people couldn't believe. But anyway, they're back, and this is frame 18, and if Luca Bracel wins it, he's at the Crucible. It's a time for steady nerves, it's a time for belief. Luca Bracel so far has displayed both qualities to get to this point. He's won 3 matches and he needs one more frame to win a 4th and to qualify, but this is going to be surely the toughest of them all to actually win. Marcus Campbell in front against Liang Wenbo, looking to make it 9-8, having been 9-5 down. All this was a bit of an unknown world to many snooker fans, particularly obviously those outside the UK. The World Qualifiers, you see the results, you hear the odd story, but until you actually watch it, I don't think it's possible to appreciate just how nerve-wracking it is for all these players. And we've seen some excellent snooker despite the nerves this week. The 147 was the highlight from Robert Milkins. And that dramatic finish last night between Ken Doherty and Anthony Hamilton. Ken came through 10-9 at midnight. Phil Yates commentated on that, as indeed he did the long session this morning between Peter Ebden and Alfie Burden, but we have now allowed him time off for good behaviour. Well, that sounded a pretty ropey contact, in fairness to him. Bit clunky. Well, if he takes this red on that he's closest to, he's obviously going to be going into the reds. There was no signs in that last frame of any impulsiveness from Brecel. He was patient throughout the safety play, and in the end he got the chance that he was looking for. King played a poor safety and he left the yellow on. Now he's taken this red on, it would seem, to the far corner, not got it. A little nervy one, that, I think. Not the worst finish. You could see, and he knew straight away that he wasn't going to get that. Campbell leads by 44 with 43 on against Liang Wenbo, so 9-8 is looking likely over there. Tense finish guaranteed, as indeed, of course, there is one here. Now then, where's this going to finish? Not good for King, better for Brecel, even though he's put the black safe. He's left the red on. Just wondering if it were to go 9-all, they'd be in danger of overrunning the next session, but I suspect they would be allowed to carry on. It would be, I think, pretty awful to come off at 9 each. Even if it delayed the start of the next session, I think common sense would prevail. Paul Collier is a very sensible man, so I'm sure he would allow them to continue. But it might not go the distance, of course, because Brecel's in here.
Seven.
Been a very entertaining week snooker, and of course all this is the mere aperitif to the main course to come, which is the World Championship itself. Starts on Saturday. Will Brecel be there? Well, this is a chance to put a few together in the frame he needs to win. The black at the moment is out of commission, but the pink is
40.
on the black spot. The blue is available.
15.
And if he can get an angle from the blue, he may well go into them. Still a couple of loose reds nearer the bulk colours.
22.
Wonder what thoughts are racing through his mind, how clear he can keep his mind, just concentrate on the job in hand, not look forward too much to what it all means if he does win. That's the key really here. As Steve Davis so famously said, play like it means nothing when it means everything. Well, this is
26.
Tricky now, tricky queuing apart from anything else. Over the brown. Well done.
27.
He's clearly got great self-belief, and I think his junior record is one of the reasons for that, winning the European Juniors at 14, the European Amateur title itself at 15. Looking to go into them here. How's the split? It looks pretty good. This is a chance now for Brecel to win. What a moment for this 17-year-old from Belgium.
31.
We've known about him for a few years. He's been talked about as a potential champion of the future. Some of that potential perhaps now being realised.
32.
It's all about just trying to keep calm. He's slightly overdone that one for the blue. May go into them again, get them open. Well, he is still on one.
$37.
This young man was born in 1995.
Touching ball.
Stephen Hendry had already won 3 world titles by that point. Of course, he qualified earlier this afternoon. Can he do it? Well, it's in his hands. Got to say, it's a great chance now.
43. $44.
There's always someone, it seems, every year who just comes through the pack
49.
and qualifies. Last year Andrew Paget surprised a few people, Zangander the year before, and there's been many others down the years. Luca Bracel's season, up until the start of the qualifiers, didn't suggest that he was going to do this. Not there yet, but he's closing in. This pink is going to put him 56 in front. Still 75 available. Well, every shot is a pint of blood, isn't it? But they're still going in. He's just a little short.
56.
Just saw a little shake of the head. He's okay though. It's in.
57.
Pink puts him 63 in front. He would need one more red. He's 2 balls away from booking his Crucible debut. He's missed the pink. He's missed the pink and he's not there yet.
Luca Bracel. 57.
Well, not sure you could call that a smile. More a grimace. He leads by 57. Possible 67 on. Of course the black is safe, but King is fine with pinks and blues. There is one red just on the side cushion and one towards the baulk colours, but that was a golden chance for Brecel. He was going so well up to that point when he missed the pink.
One.
Is there another twist in what's been a fascinating tale already?
Six. Seven.
King's missed the pink now.
Marking.
Well, at least
7.
he's covered the red with the pink over the pocket, but that's a bad miss because he's 50 behind. 51 on, yes, but he needs blacks, and the black's on the side cushion. So he really needed to pot that. It's advantage Brecel. I think Mark King's problem in this session has just been his scoring. He made 2 half-century breaks in one frame, but other than that, he hasn't been making the breaks. Brecel, this afternoon alone, has had 4 half-centuries. Not over yet, but clearly Brecel in the driving seat here. And he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? That's the thing that's impressed me. He's already got a vast snooker knowledge. He's only 17. He's watched a lot. He's played a lot as a junior. He's the real deal, I think. He's proved that this week. And he's very close to doing this, to winning this match and getting himself in the draw tomorrow. Just look at the experienced players he's beaten. Ian McCulloch, Barry Pinches, Michael Holt, and not far off beating Mark King as well. I think he did play the double as the shot to nothing. He would have been on the pink. And that was the main part of the shot there, getting the white to the top cushion. Pressure's on King here. Like I say, even if he got a chance at a red, he's got to take blacks to win the frame without a snooker. Brecel needs 1 red to get to the snooker's required stage. Is this the ball? I tell you what, that was close. And he knows it, and they both know it. For attempts to mess around with the rules of snooker over the last couple of years, but this is the proper game right here. This is the tension, and Mark King has made a big mistake, a fatal mistake there, under pressure. And surely, if Brecel can knock this in, he knows he's got the pink waiting, it's going to be over.
One.
What a performance from Luca Bracel. He's come through 4 rounds of qualifying in his very first World Championship.
4.
The bow tie's already off. Mark King knows it's over. Just 1 mistake too many in the end from him. But Brecel, I think that last frame was the key one. He held himself together so well to clear up and win it on the pink. Didn't quite kill it off at the first time of asking here, that 57 when he missed the pink, but, well, he's already smiling. He knows he's done it. What a moment.
8.
Luca Bracel is the history boy. The 17-year-old will become the youngest player to compete at the Crucible in the championships. 36 years there. He's going to get his teenage kicks at the Crucible. That is sensational, to come from the first round to beat 4 experienced players. 10-8 the victory, Brecel in the draw, and as I say, he will supersede Stephen Hendry, who also won this afternoon, as the youngest person ever to